What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to No Life to Metal. It's time for a rock metal update. That's right. It's time for rock and metal update. Gonna do a 7-inch update. Been a while since I've done one of those, and I have picked up quite a few over the last few months since I did my last one. Got a couple of gifts from friends, and picked up a few things online, and I really haven't gone out digging anywhere recently, although I'm planning on going out digging in the next few weeks in a couple other states. So let me just get right into this. Let's see what I got here. Hang on. I should have looked at these before I started talking. Yeah, let's get right into this. All right, first up, this is a promo single, I believe. Split promo single for Rock Hard, but this is Creator and Overkill. Both songs exclusive to this 7-inch record. German, obviously. So you get Overkill doing Man in Black, which is really cool, and it's not as... You know, you think Overkill, I'm thinking immediately it's just going to be this grinding, heavy song, but it's really not. But they do a good job of it. Actually, if I was to go with my favorite version of Man in Black, I'd go with One Bad Pig. That's a cool version. It's like a punk version with Johnny Cash actually sharing the vocals. And then you get Warrior Heart from Creator, which is a very heavy thrash song. But anyhow, very cool 7-inch vinyl featuring two of my favorite thrash bands, Overkill and Creator. Next up, this is a picture disc for Iced Earth The Culling with Democide. So there's the one side, and there's the back. VIP package only, 7-inch PD single featuring exclusive demo version of Democide, 2014. Iced Earth stuff singles. I think it's actually the only one I have. I was real super excited to grab these. I just keep coming across these for decent prices. So this is Toys in the Attic with Sweet Emotion, 1975 Japanese 7-inch single in pristine condition. As with most picture sleeve singles from Japan, they come in the regular record company sleeves. So you can see the Columbia sleeve. Then it has sleeved in front of it the Japanese lyrics in the back, and then the cover on the front. I love Japanese pressings, so these are really cool. So that would be from their third album, Toys in the Attic. This coming from their 1985 album, Done with Mirrors. Was it 85 or was it 86? It might have been 86. And anyhow, this is, again, Let the Music Do the Talking, backed with Gypsy Boots. Japanese single. Oddly enough, it is on CBS Sony, which I thought all the stuff on that album was on Geffen, but probably not all of it. Let's see here. So here's the insert and the lyric sleeve. So huge Aerosmith fan, you guys know that. So anything Aerosmith I pick up that's unusual like that, I'll just, I grab it immediately. So. Especially if I can get it for a good price like I got those. Continuing with the Rammer collection, I just kind of been trying to find everything I can find from that Canadian thrash metal band. This is a split between Rammer and Streets. Streets being a punk band, Rammer being a very aggressive thrash metal band. This is a silk screened cover on green stock, so you can see the fluorescent green stock. So everything else you see here has been silk screened on. The brown, the red, the black, very cool. Streets was okay, but I really bought this for the Rammer. Here's the insert that comes with it. Very DIY, which is very cool actually. I dig the DIY stuff, and I think this is actually a really phenomenal release. So there's the Streets on one side, and then the Rammer on the B side, and it is on a translucent red vinyl with a slight bit of marbling to it. If I can remember I don't know if the year's written on here or not, because I cannot remember off the top of my head what it was. No, I don't see a year on here, but anyhow. regardless, Rammer and Streets, as well as, this one's going to be hard to see because it's dark red on black, but this is Rammer and Maniac. So you get Rammer with Death Stirs on the A side, or the Steel side, and on the Funeral side it's Maniac, and the name of the song is Fuck It. So, not real comfortable using that language, but that's the name of the song. So, there you go. So you can kind of see it's Maniacs is very dark, kind of cliche. I don't know, death thrash metal. Rammer are Rammer and sound just like themselves. I can't even call them death thrash. They're just very aggressive thrash metal. Very cool stuff. So, almost had everything by then that was available on vinyl, and I got this one super cheap. Actually, the price sticker's still on there, if you can see it or not, but it's $3. I think it's my third single from Rammer, third or fourth single from Rammer. Now, these were really cool. These were sent to me by my very good friend who lives in the UK and does have a very active channel on YouTube. So I'm going to put his link to his site here so you can check him out. But he is the Headbanging Zulu UK, Steve. And he found this for me, and I couldn't be more excited. This is the Overkill, original pressing of the Overkill, Too Late, Too Late. 7-inch single, picture sleeve, UK pressing on the bronze label. As well as Bomber, again on the bronze label with over the top on the B side. And here is the center ring. And then also Iron Fist, once again on the bronze label with Remember Me, I'm Gone. And this is promoting the 1982 UK tour, or European tour. 3 nights in Newcastle alone, 4 nights in London, 3 nights in Birmingham. I mean, these guys were huge back then, at least in Europe. Not so much in here. Alright, these guys, these came from another friend of mine who hooked me up. Actually, no, this came from him as well. This also came from Headbanging Zulu. This is Magnum. This is Just Like an Arrow on the FM Coast to Coast label. B-side is Two Hearts. And this is 1985. Yeah, you know, they're more of a prog rock kind of band. 80s style prog, so it's, you know, it's heavy with guitars, but it's also heavy with keyboards. When I tend to think of prog rock, I always go back to the 70s because that's my favorite era of prog. But I really like Magnum too. They just, you know, kind of like Marillion, kind of fit in line there. A lot of metalheads seem to really like Magnum, and they do have their heavier moments, but they were never a metal band, not that I'm aware of. I don't own everything they've ever done, but from what I've heard, they're not. This is actually a UK pressing of a ZZ Top single, Sharp Dressed Man from Eliminator, with I Got the Six on the back side. That's very cool. I am a ZZ Top fan, so that's a nice addition to the collection. Don't see picture sleeve UK singles of ZZ Top popping up around here much. Alright, now this band, I love their first 2 albums. I like their 3rd album. Their 4th album, I think, is wretched. It's just my opinion, but it seems to upset people. Here's the deal. It's Def Leppard. And this is from their, this is what, their 5th album or something like that? This is from Adrenalize. Adrenalize was pretty much, you know, the next step after Hysteria. My problem with Hysteria is not that it's bad music. It's good pop music, but it's really not heavy metal. It's not even really rock. It's just pop rock. That's not a bad thing if you like pop rock. It's very processed, very, and this is the word that seems to tick people off. It's very overproduced. Now, overproduced is not saying a bad thing. You know, some albums are underproduced. For instance, the very first Raven album, very underproduced, but it works for them and it makes them sound heavy. The very first Venom album, the first Metallica album, again, very underproduced albums, and it works for them. if you like that overproduced, glossy sound with layers and layers of vocals, layers and layers of guitars, and layers of keyboards, where you've just got tons of layers, and it's just very glossy, very shiny, very studio, what's the word I'm looking for? Glossy, I guess. That's what you're going to get with Adrenalize and Hysteria. And to me, it just robs the band of their rawness, their rock and roll. You know, makes them into a pop band. So I'm just not as big of that era of fan of that era of Def Leppard as I am of the first 3 albums. Even Pyromania was very processed, very produced, but it still was still. You know, the vocals were still natural sounding. You know, it still sounded like Joe Elliott singing. It wasn't just layers and layers of vocals. The guitars were still out front in there, you know. Whereas Hysteria, it's not. So when I say something is overproduced, I'm not saying it's poorly produced. I'm not saying it's they did too much. It's just the style of production. It's that 80s glossy sound, and it worked for them. They sold millions of records on it, and a lot of bands after them went for that sound. I didn't care for that sound. It's just not my thing so much. So I prefer the rawer sound, you know, the more straightforward rock and heavy metal production, as opposed to something that's glitzy and glammy. So there you go. I don't know how I got into that from that single, but whatever. Right. This one was a gift from my buddy Bill Bafford. He picked this up out in California. This is off the new Jimi Hendrix album. Man, that artwork is spectacular. I'm just going to put that right up to the camera there so you can see it. Man, it's just beautiful. So is the front cover of the new Jimi Hendrix, which I still haven't purchased. That's it right there, actually. This contains new versions of songs. Nothing is new, obviously. Jimi Hendrix has been dead for decades. But you've got Loverman on the A side, and you've got a live version of Foxy Lady from 1967 from Holland, with Noel Redding on bass and Mitch Mitchell on drums. So it says previously unreleased, but I'm sure it's been released in some sort of bootleg somewhere, but still cool. Huge fan of Jimi Hendrix. I want to pick up the new album from him pretty soon as well. It's just, I don't know. It's not new. It's just not. No matter what you say, it's not new. So these last 3 came from my friend in Norway, and this is a band I'm not really all that familiar with. I have listened to this a few times. This is kind of a straightforward 80s heavy metal, kind of like in the Vandenberg's, you know, sound. Still kind of rocks, but it's not super glossy AOR-ish either. This is Return. I'll be darned if I can remember where this band is from. I did look it up when I first received it. This is a single from the album called To the Top. Where was this? Oslo, and that's Norway, so this is a Norwegian band. So this is a regional band for him. Return to the Top. This is from 1980. Was it 85? See if I can see it. 87. These next 2 also came from him, so he's a guy I do a lot of trading with. And this is Gary Moore, Too Tired, along with Albert Collins. Of course, Albert Collins is a blues legend, but this is a UK pressing on Virgin, or is it German? That was UK. I looked it up once already, and it's been a while since I looked at it. But anyhow, on the Virgin label, the B-side is Texas Strut. And this is Gary doing his blues period, where he was doing nothing but recording blues, not the early heavy metal hard rock he was doing in the 80s. And this last one is by 220 Volt, a band I do have almost all their albums from, I believe. This is Beat of the Heart, from, let's see the year in here, 1988. B-side is Live It Up. Interesting enough, this is mixed by Max Norman. Max Norman, who worked with tons of different bands, Megadeth, Dirty Looks, among many others. So the sound quality is really good. I always thought Max Norman was a good producer because he didn't overproduce. You know, he kept the bands heavy and raw, even though he gave them a very smooth, clean production. So, and that's what you're going to get here with just 220 volt single. So, very cool. So that's my 7-inch update for whatever it is now, April 2018. So I appreciate y'all watching. Do leave a message below. Let me know what you think of these, and Maybe you know something about them I don't. Always love talking with you guys. So that's it. Appreciate you watching. God bless and stay strong.